that I was everything he ever wanted, that love shouldn't be complicated, only honest. And I believed him. I met Jason on an ordinary Thursday morning, standing in line at a bookstore cafe. I was reaching for the last copy of a mystery novel when his hand touched mine. We both laughed. He insisted I take the book and offered to buy my coffee instead. His smile was confident without being arrogant, and his voice had that rare warmth that made you feel seen. We talked for hours that day. I was newly single, cautious but quietly hopeful. He was charming, a little nerdy, and said all the right things at exactly the right time. It wasn't long before I let my guard down. With Jason, I felt safe. Like maybe love didn't always have to be a battlefield. 3 months later, he had a drawer at my apartment. He brought me almond croissants every Saturday and sent thinking of you texts mid-meeting. He listened when I vented about work, and when I mentioned my dream trip to Italy, he lit up. Let's plan it. Just us. You and me. Rome under the stars. I should have noticed the cracks sooner. He never wanted to take selfies. Said he didn't like how he looked in pictures. I offered to post a photo of our hands at dinner once, and he pulled his away with a sheepish grin. Let's keep this just between us. At first, I told myself it was sweet. He wanted privacy, not secrecy. Then there was the earring. Small gold stud I found on the passenger seat of his car. Definitely not mine. He laughed it off. My sister borrowed the car last week, must be hers. I didn't press him. I didn't want to be the jealous girlfriend. He was affectionate, thoughtful, and always said he loved me with his whole soul. So I tucked the doubt away like a bad dream. My best friend Nina wasn't convinced. There's something off about him, she said one night as we shared a bottle of wine. He's too perfect. Doesn't that worry you? He makes me happy, I replied, a little sharper than I intended. She nodded, backing off. But her eyes lingered on mine, full of unspoken concern. Jason was flying out for a 3-day work trip to Chicago. I offered to drop him at the airport. In the car, he held my hand tightly. Soon we'll be sipping wine in Tuscany, he said. Just you and me, I promise. I smiled, heart full. That night, I curled up in bed and opened my phone to scroll through photos of us. Well, of his hands, his shoes, the back of his head. He was always just out of frame. A soft ding interrupted my thoughts. Instagram DM. Hey, I think we need to talk about Jason. My stomach dropped. The message came from someone named Lena. Her profile was private, but her display picture showed a glimpse of brown hair and a hint of red lipstick. I stared at the screen, heart racing. My fingers hovered, uncertain. Curiosity won. Me. Who are you? Why are you messaging me about Jason? The reply came almost instantly. Lena. I'm his girlfriend. Silence. Then nausea. I read it again, slower this time, hoping I'd misunderstood. Hoping this was some twisted joke. But the pit in my stomach told me otherwise. Another message followed. Lena. I have proof. I'm sorry. I didn't know about you until today. My hands trembled. I wanted to throw my phone, to scream, to cry, but all I could do was stare at the words on the screen, frozen. Jason said it would be just us, but apparently I wasn't even the only one. My hands trembled as I hit the call button. Lena's voice was calm but laced with restrained emotion. I'm sorry to reach out like this, she said. But I couldn't keep pretending I didn't see something wrong. I sat in silence, clutching the phone like it might explode. How long? I finally asked, my voice barely above a whisper. 2 years, she said. We met through a friend. He told me he wasn't on social media much, said he liked keeping things private. I thought it was romantic. 2 years. Jason had been with her longer than he had with me. Every lie he told me, every promise he made, it wasn't just betrayal, it was calculation. "He's in Chicago," I murmured, still trying to process. "No," Lena said. "He's in Paris. I helped him book the flight." The silence on the line turned heavy. It was suddenly hard to breathe. "He told me he was going to propose soon," Lena added. "I even picked out a ring." I felt like the ground had cracked beneath me. Jason wasn't just seeing someone else, he was building entire futures. With us, parallel and deliberate. I wanted to scream, cry, break something, but instead I asked, "Are you sure there's no one else?" Lena hesitated. "I wasn't," she said, "until today. I checked his coat pocket. There was a receipt from a florist. On the back, he scribbled a name, Amira. That's how I found you." Before I could reply, my phone buzzed again. A new message. Unknown number. "Hi. I know this is strange, but I found your number in Jason's coat. I'm Maya. Can we talk?" Another one? I opened the message and stared at her profile picture, her holding a little boy, maybe 3 years old. My blood ran cold. I called her immediately. "Maya." "Yes," she said softly. "I'm sorry to bother you, but who are you to Jason?" I hesitated. "His girlfriend." A beat of silence, then a sharp inhale. Oh my God. The next few minutes unfolded like a nightmare. Maya had been with Jason for 4 years. They met at a charity event. She got pregnant 2 years in. Jason promised they'd be a family, said he was waiting for the right moment to propose. Their son called him Dad. "He told me he was at a software convention this week," she said. "Said he'd be back Sunday." 3 women, 1 man, and none of us had known about the others. Until now. The 3 of us connected that night on a video call, hesitant but united in disbelief. We traded stories, timelines, screenshots. The lies overlapped like a perfectly rehearsed play. Texts recycled, excuses reused, birthdays double-booked. Jason had lived 3 lives seamlessly, without shame. "I feel stupid," Lena said, wiping her eyes. "You're not," Maya replied. "None of us are. He's just that good." I watched them, their tired faces, raw expressions, and felt my anger turn sharp and focused. I wasn't alone in this betrayal. I was one of many, but maybe that meant I didn't have to go through this alone either. "We should confront him," I said. Lena's brows furrowed. "How?" A plan began to form. "He thinks you're in Paris, Lena. Tell him you're back. Early. Invite him over. Maya and I will be waiting." Maya nodded slowly. "He needs to see what he's done." Lena took a deep breath. "Let's burn the mask off this liar." That night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep. My heart still ached, but there was a new fire inside me. One that didn't come from love, but from truth. Jason had stolen our time, our trust, our futures. But tomorrow, we'd take something back. Lena's apartment looked like it had been staged for romance. Candles flickered along the windowsill. A bottle of red wine breathed on the table. 2 glasses stood ready. Jason would never guess what was really waiting for him. Maya and I arrived, 20 minutes before he was due. We slipped in through the back entrance, hearts pounding, every breath tight with tension. Lena met us in the kitchen, her face composed but pale. Her hands shook slightly as she adjusted her earrings. "He texted," she said, 10 minutes out. I glanced at Maya. Her eyes flicked to the living room where a small family photo had been deliberately placed on the coffee table. Jason's hand rested on her son's shoulder in the image, a lie frozen in time. We took our places, Maya and I tucked just out of view, listening for the knock that would mark the beginning of the end. When it came, Lena opened the door with a practiced smile. "Hey, stranger," she said warmly, stepping aside. Jason entered, carrying a bouquet of lilies. "For you," he said, grinning. "Paris missed you." His confidence was nauseating. He leaned in for a kiss, and Lena obliged, a flicker of disgust flashing behind her eyes. He sat, poured wine, and began recounting a fabricated story about a business dinner overlooking the Eiffel Tower. His voice was smooth, unbothered, completely unaware. Lena let him talk. Then she cut in. "Jason, before we toast, I have a surprise." His brows lifted, amused. "Oh yeah?" She looked toward the hallway. "You can come out now." Maya stepped into the room first, followed by me. Jason's jaw slackened as his gaze darted from one face to the next. He stood slowly. "Amira, Maya, what is this?" Nobody answered. Instead, I placed the plane tickets to Italy on the table, our planned getaway. Maya dropped a small box beside it. Inside was the engagement ring Jason had once shown her, hidden in his closet for months. "I was going to say yes," she said softly, her voice shaking. "I was going to say yes, and you were sleeping with 2 other women." Jason stumbled back a step. "Wait, listen, this isn't—" "Don't," Lena snapped. "Don't lie. Not again." He looked desperate now. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I loved all of you. I didn't want to hurt anyone." "You didn't want to get caught," I said, my voice cold. He moved toward me. "Amira, please, you know what we have is real." I stepped back. "What we had was built on lies." Jason turned to Lena. "You're the one I really—" She laughed bitterly. "Don't even try." It was over. The stories he told, the lives he juggled, the illusion of love, exposed. He no longer looked charming. He looked small, weak, like the facade had finally crumbled, leaving nothing but a hollow shell of a man who thought he could have everything. We left him standing in that candle-lit lie, surrounded by the ruins of his own deceit. Outside, the night air felt sharp and clean. Maya walked beside me in silence, clutching her coat tight. Lena lit a cigarette with trembling fingers, exhaling slowly. "I feel free," she said. I nodded. So did I. We didn't need revenge. We needed closure, and we had it. Later that week, Jason tried calling, dozens of times. Each of us blocked him without responding. The silence was louder than anything we could have said. I began to rebuild. I focused on myself, my friendships, the pieces of me that I'd ignored while trying to be someone's ideal. Nina came over with wine and takeout one night. She looked at me and smiled. "You look lighter." "I feel like I woke up," I said. "Finally. I'll never understand." How Jason kept all the lies straight. How he smiled at 3 women with the same mouth that whispered promises to each. But I no longer cared. He promised it'd be just us. And for the first time, that's exactly what I had. Just me,